Hello everyone, this is Trader Stewie again with you with the artoftrading.net. Tonight I'm going to make a video about my watch list. I'm doing something new here with you guys. I'm going to do a watch list video. So here we go, let's start off. The first one is going to be a symbol that caught my attention today is VVTV. This is a stock that that I've been watching for quite a while now. And I've been following it since the low fives, maybe somewhere around right here. And as you can see, the stocks had a decent run, but it moves in a very, very wobbly fashion. So what do I mean by that? I mean, like, the stock will break out, for a couple of days, and then kind of pull back in a very awkward manner, and then it'll kind of settle down and then break out again. So as you can see here, the stock it's doing the same thing again. So it broke out here from the above five, pulled back here awkwardly, and then started breaking out again. And here it's doing the same thing again. So it pulled back here for a few days, and then boom, finally it broke up again and came back. So here what we have here is now we can start drawing a trend line here, and you can see here kind of like a bull flag type formation. And as you can see here, it broke out here a few days ago, and now it pulled back on two low volume candles. See that? It broke out on high volume here, and it's pulling back now on very low volume. And then you can say that these two candles are retesting the breakout. So it broke out here. So it's normal for stocks, once they break out, it's normal for them to come back and retest their breakout levels. So you can see here it's retesting that 7 area. So the time for me to maybe to get back long, or to consider it long, is if it can break out. Let's say tomorrow, if it can break out above this candle's high right here. So as you can see here, I wrote here on the notes, so a breakout, this is a breakout and backtest candidate. So look for a reversal or a move back above 7.4. So a move back above this candle right here, if it can break out above there, and volume is is on the heavier side, then this could be a trade you wanna consider tomorrow. Okay, so that's one of them. Here's another one I'm looking at tomorrow is VSEA, a semiconductor stock, and as you can see here, the stock, it moves in a very, very like clean and crisp fashion. It's a very, very steady mover. These are the kind of stocks I love to trade. I love to trade stocks that have predictable, in quotation marks, predictable candles. So you can see here when it moves, it starts to move, and it moves for a while. Then it pulls back, it settles down for a little bit, and then when it moves, it starts to move back and keeps going for a while. See that? So it's not sloppy, it's not a choppy chart. It's a nice clean crisp chart, and you can see that the movement is very concise, it's very clear. This is what I call movement with confidence. So this stock is definitely moving for me in my eyes. It's moving, and it's moving with momentum, it's moving with confidence. So as you can see here, the stock, it's ran up, had a good run, gapped up here and pulled back, has digested the gap. Obviously it had some kind of a good news here, but it sold off on the news. But that's not necessarily bearish, but just give the stock some time to digest this big run up. And I think this is what it's done here. It's kind of digested, and now what you're seeing is kind of like a sort of a triangle formation starting to take shape here. And as you can see, we're approaching the apex of the triangle. So I'll be looking for a move outside of this triangle very soon, maybe even as early as tomorrow. Tomorrow would be Friday, February 11th. So and look at the volume, guys. Look how much it picked up today, and it closed really well. So it closed up over $1 today, and it closed up on a very, very high volume. So I would definitely keep the stock on your radar for a breakout move. Maybe let's just say a breakout move over 46.15, or a breakout move over 46.10. Somewhere in that area. Anything over 46.05, 46.10, 46.15, somewhere there. This stock you should consider as a long. I know I will in tomorrow's session. So I'll be watching this one very closely. Okay, and let's look at the next one now. Next one is LNG. This is another stock that we've traded before. Once again, the stock has nice crisp candle. It moves very, very aggressively. Once it moves, it can move with with a big amount of aggression. And as you can tell, the stock is literally from November, from early November to late November, it's literally doubled, as you can tell. So this stock, it packs a big punch, and it can move. So as you can see here, the stock had a few it broke up from this kind of a cup and handle formation. You can see here there's a cup, and a handle formation here. It broke out here. Look at the volume. Volume was really good here on the breakout, and now it's basically doing a back test. So as you can see here, I wrote it all here for you guys. It's a breakout and back test. So I'll be looking for a move over this candle's high, which would be around 810. So a breakout over 810, maybe 815, somewhere in the area. And you want to see, if you see volume expanding on a breakout above the 810 area, 815 area, you want to consider the stock as a long. And you want to watch the action very, very closely. You want to see how volume is acting. You want to take into condition, obviously, take into account how the market's acting, the market conditions. So this stock I would definitely keep on the watch list for tomorrow as well. Looks pretty good to me. I mean, this stock, if I had to give it a target, right now it's at 808. I would not be surprised to see the stock hit 10. Sometime in the not too distant future. So definitely keep this one on the radar. Here's one more for you guys. Is Sienna. SCIEN, and here's another stock, guys. Like I said earlier, movement with confidence. So you can see here the stock is not shy about moving aggressively higher once it starts to break out and move. So you can see here it broke out, gapped up here, and moved really aggressively from 17 to 2170, pulled back slightly, and then kept attacking even more. These are the kind of stocks I love to trade. These stocks, they're not boring. They pack a punch. You can consider, oh, they're highly shorted. Maybe that's why they move like this. So you have these candles that aggressively move, for multiple days in a row. This is a typical action of a stock that's highly shorted. And as you can see here, the stock gapped up here. It must have had some good news, maybe good earnings or something. Look at the volume, huge volume here. And you can see now it's kind of forming like a little mini, consolidation, a little mini bull flag type pattern here. And I'm looking for a move tomorrow or Monday over this bull flag. So a breakout of 27.95. If I can get some volume behind this move too, I would be very, very bullish on this one. So definitely keep the stock on your radar. Right now it's at 27.35. My target for a stock that moves like this would be 30. So definitely you want to watch this one for maybe a possible 3-point move on this one. All right, let's look at the next one. The next one is EMAN. EMAN is the symbol. And as you can see here, once again, this is a classic art of trading setup. I like to look for stocks, that move aggressively higher. So once they start moving, they don't stop. They just keep moving. This is a classic momentum name. You can say they are highly shorted as well too. Look at that. When it starts moving, it moves aggressively. Pulls back and in just a nice healthy pullback on low volume, moves back up again on big volume. And you can see here it entered a very, very choppy zone here, but like I said, it's not unusual for a stock that doubles to see this kind of action here. So as you can see here, aggressively back up again, huge volume, and you can see here it broke out above this 8 zone here, and it's pulling back on these little mini consolidation candles. So it had 1, 2, 3, 4 mini consolidation candles. And remember, the whole time it stayed above 8. Look at that, volume dropped off a bit here. So I'll be looking for a move tomorrow or sometime next week over this 875 area resistance, and look for volume to expand on this move. And at my target for something like this that move this aggressively like that would be 10. So right now it's at 845. I'll be a buyer above 875, and I'll be looking for a 10 as a possible target. Okay, let's look at one more, and it's EXFO. Here's another stock. I've never traded this one before, but definitely you want to watch this kind of action. When a stock starts to look like this, you had a big gap up here on huge volume. Obviously there was some kind of good news here, so the stock kept drifting higher. And look at that, as soon as it broke above 1040, the stock took off to almost 12, and it's since then pulled back, consolidated here. Volume starting to come back a little bit as it approaches the $12 high here, and so I would be a buyer above 12. For something like this, I'd maybe looking for like a $1 target for, as a potential profit target. So if it breaks up above 12, you want to be a buyer on volume and maybe a potential target of 13. So watch the action tomorrow if the stock can get above 12. Okay, and here's one more, is HLIT. This is a stock I've been watching for quite a few days now, and the reason why I've been watching it is because of this big candle right over here. This obviously was earnings. It was on my watch list the day before. I mentioned it here on Twitter and put on the StockTwits Chartly blog here. It was right here, but I did not buy it because I had earnings the next day. and as you can tell, the stock on earnings gapped up and then kept running. So you can see here the stock has pulled back since on very low volume, broke out on big volume, pulled back on very, very light volume, and now the stock is kind of giving you a little mini bull flag pattern. So I'll be looking for a move outside of this bull flag. So let's say on a break above 960, which is today's high, let's say a break above 960 here, and the stock could see maybe like 1050, so you definitely want to keep this one on the radar as well too. This one is I would consider a high probability trade, just because you have earnings out of the way. The stock reacted very positively after earnings, so this stock is in play and it wants to go higher. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind this one could see 10, maybe even 1050, in the days or weeks to come. So definitely keep this one on the radar. And here, last one, guys, is TSS. This one I just discovered it today when I was doing my scans. And as you can see here, beautiful, once again, movement with confidence. Look at that, the stock gaps up, huge volume, big candles, and just big ranges. This is the kind of stock I love to trade. And you can see here, so it had a big range here, another big range here, followed by a gap up, and it kept backing and filling here in this area above the 17 zone, and now it's forming a triangle, and we're reaching the apex of the triangle. So I'll be looking for a move above this 1785 area, and you want to look at this, guys. Volume starting to expand. Volume starting to expand here today on this candle here. So I'll be looking for a move above here on 1795. 1785 would be my trigger to get long this one, and I'll be looking maybe for a target of 19 to 20 on something like this. So guys, hopefully this this is something new. I might do those more in the future, these video watch lists. I hope this kind of gives you guys a better idea of what I look for in these setups, and why these setups kind of grab my attention. Anyway, hopefully these help you tomorrow, and good luck.